match day. Let's see. I mean, I will admit, it's not the most impressive stadium to look at in the match engine. I was hoping for it to be a bit grander because it's just 4 stands and some gaps where there's some palm trees and an office block, which is fine, but it's a new stand and this bit looks a bit unfinished, I've got to be honest with you. How's it going, everyone? My name is Stu and welcome to my Deportivo La Coruña save here on FM24. Thank you for joining me in today's video, which is part number 66 in the save. I nearly said 26. It's not 26. There's another 40 episodes on top of that. I could restart this, but I'm not going to. But in today's video, we're going to be just playing the one game against Mallorca, and we're going to be looking at how the first quarter of the league season has gone. If you're excited to see how we are doing so far in this final season of the save, then don't forget to leave a big like on the video for me. And don't forget to subscribe as well. It's completely free to do so. You'll put a big smile on this face right here. What's not to love? So, since you were last with us, it's been a good start. We'll just get into the games that we've played so far, and then we'll cover everything to begin with. So, we started things off with the opening game of the season against Malaga, as you are aware of, and well, in the 5th minute things didn't exactly go to plan. Ramon Enriquez made it 1-0 to Malaga, which I've got to be honest with you, upset me a little bit, just a little bit. Wasn't even that good a goal. We just were very, very sloppy from the outset, and we probably ideally need to be doing a little bit better than that, if I'm honest. But not that long after, like almost straight from the kickoff, we put things right. Ardagula with a lovely ball over to new makeshift striker Joe Veloso, and he goes and scores in his first appearance as a striker in a competitive game, and does a really, really good job with it as well. It's a lovely pass from Gula, floated over Veloso, playing like a striker, like he has been a striker all his life, and he made it 1-1, and we're back in the game. But then we make it 2-1. Ardagula steps up, not really built for a left-footed free kick. He doesn't care. He's that good at them. He makes it 2-1 and everything is right once again. And just before half-time, madness happens. Ana Martinez to Maria. Maria, looking for Veloso, ends up going through to Salvador, and it is a bit of a naughty tackle there from the Malaga defence. And, well, I'm going to spoil it for you. It's a penalty. It's absolutely a penalty. And the penalty is taken by Johnny Salvador. And Johnny Salvador, as we know, likes to do Johnny Salvador things. And he actually has the penalty saved, because I forgot that he saved it for a second then. But then batters in the rebound because that's just what he does. And opens the scoring for his account for the season. And that was that for that one. Literally, nothing else happened of any kind of note in the second half, other than Ana Martinez got a yellow card. We did also bring on, Levine, who got a 6.6 in his debut appearance for us, I forgot the word then. And Restes did concede a goal, but you know what? It is what it is. I'm not too upset about it. Speaking of things that I'm not upset about, one of those things is this. 3rd game of the season against Alaves, Joe Veloso. Just watch this. Salvador heads it to Veloso. What a volley that is. That's literally the only thing I'm showing you from that game, because it was just that good a goal. But finally we christened the new Juan Carlos Valeron Stadium with a home game, and that home game was against Real Betis. And, well, it wasn't as easy as I would have liked it to be. I'm not going to lie to you. Took us a little while to get things going in the first half, but in the 39th minute we finally came to life. Rebel went to Joe Veloso, into Maria, ball through to Johnny Salvador, 1-0, happy days. The new stadium is christened with a goal from ourselves. If it had been christened by anyone else, I think I'd have been a little bit cross. And goal number 2 came from a corner. Ardagula, the set-piece maestro himself, down to Rebel. His attempt was saved, and Jason Rengifo even, manages to make it 2. But we don't necessarily have everything our own way. Real Betis in the 80th minute decide to remember that they can actually play football, and Collado manages to make it 2-1. I should point out, Agrizabala is the goalkeeper here because our new goalkeeper decided to go and get injured, the rascal. And that was the end of that one. Restes ended up being injured for about 4 weeks, so we had a bit of a while without him actually, but we did manage to get through to goals to 1. Went through this period again where we're having loads of chances, but not many of them on target, and just struggling a little bit to get over the line in games. Obviously, we got over the line in this one relatively comfortably, but still was a bit of a concern if I'm being completely honest. Now, I did skip over the game before the Betis game because I was so excited about the new stadium, but it was actually our opening Champions League fixture against Manchester City because we can't have nice things. And we managed to get to the 34th minute without doing something stupid. That's something stupid being a penalty given by our captain, Bojan Ilic, who doesn't like big games, don't you know? Well, the penalty was given, Erling Haaland steps up, and Erling Haaland shows that he is, in fact, in his mind, the superior striker. When we all know it's not, it's Johnny Salvador. But still, Erling Haaland gets his 6th goal of the season, and it is 1-0 to Manchester City. Birds wide stop at 1. It's then 2. Rico Lewis breaks forward from the defence, goes out wide. Jeremy Pino gets the ball off of him, just takes it off of him. It's whipped in. Jeremy Doku, who's known for his aerial prowess, makes it 2 and makes me very sad. So a little bit of tactical tweaking at half time, and we go back into the second half, hoping we can get an early goal to try and get back into this game. Veloso takes the short corner, gets it to Levine, who took the corner, over to Litzkas, who whips it in, and there's Joe Herculano, playing as a defensive midfielder this season, getting a goal that does get checked for offside, but if you know what the tells are for whether a goal is going to get given, you will know, just like I did, that this was given. Happy days indeed. There it is. Happy days indeed. And we now have a lifeline to try and get back into the game, which I don't know about you, but I think that's quite lovely. Look at that for a finish. And then we ruin everything because Levine goes in hard on Doku and gets sent off. All of that hard work to get that, well, not even an equaliser, to get 1 goal back in, and the silly boy goes and does that, which means we then have to go and do silly tactics. I mean, I like silly tactics, but not in these conditions. And yet, despite the silly tactics, despite being fed up with the fact that we've had a red card, well, Litzkas just decides he wants to score an absolute worldie and makes it 2-2, because of course he does, despite the fact we're down to 10 men and playing against Manchester City. Even more amazing, Erling Haaland whips the ball in, ends up with Ruben Diaz, he puts it in the back of the net, you have the funny little camera move, it gets checked for offside, and I noticed, I don't know if you saw my mouth movement over there for a second, but I noticed straight away the flag was up. Disallowed. And at this point we're starting to believe a point, happy with that. But we might even be on for a winner here. No. Whipped in, ball's in the skirmish, and somehow the referee sees a handball in there. I don't know if you saw it, I didn't. Still not overly happy with this, but it was given as a penalty after VAR had a look at it, and of course, up steps Erling Haaland. Because of course he did, because we just can't have nice things. Him against Agrezabala and I can't say his name right, that should tell you enough. It's 3-2, and I'm very, very sad because it's in the 93rd minute. That's why we can't have nice things. Yeah, I was a little bit upset after that one, I've got to be honest with you. Normally, wouldn't mind losing against Manchester City. I'd be a bit grumpy about it, but I wouldn't mind too much. The fact that that was how the match looked, despite the fact we went down to 10 men, pretty fuming, I'm not going to lie. But in terms of the league, this is how things are looking. We've played 9, we've won 8, we've drawn 1, and we haven't lost a single game. We are the only team other than Atletico Madrid to have an unbeaten record. Barcelona, Real Madrid, each have lost a game. Real Madrid, they have had a shocking start to the season for their own personal kind of record. They've won 5, drawn 2, lost 1 after 8. That is shocking. That is absolutely shocking. Barcelona are the team who are looking more likely this season. Whether that stays the same or not is another matter, but at the moment, that's what it's looking like. But doing very well. In terms of our goals for, best in the league. Really good to see. Real Madrid, somehow, despite having that record, only conceding 3 goals. We've got the next joint best goals against at 6. So we have the best goal difference in the league at the moment. But Real Madrid, considering that, they lost 1-0 there. They've conceded the goal against Athletic Bilbao in a draw, and they've conceded 1 goal against Sevilla. They are doing a great job at keeping clean sheets, or at least not conceding many goals. They're not doing a great job at winning games, apparently. But we are on top. We are doing really well. In terms of the profile of the season, that's how it's looking. Johnny Salvador and Joe Veloso, both at the top of the scoring charts. Joe Veloso, the best player in the league at the moment. Johnny Salvador, 3rd. I mean, Joe Veloso's had a ridiculous start to his season as a striker. He's got 9 goals in 9 appearances and 3 assists. He's having a madness of a season. Johnny Salvador has had to play catch-up. Johnny Salvador was struggling for a little bit, and now he's caught up. He got a hat-trick in his last game, which is why he's caught up so quickly. But he has been struggling a little bit. He's also the Golden Ball winner, which I quite like being able to say that when he is literally one of the best players in the world. I wonder whether it's still on here. How far down do I have to go to get to it? I wonder whether it's dropped off. I think it was around here somewhere, but I'm probably just going to give up and not bother looking for it. But it's a very good thing, obviously. Yeah, I'm going to give up for it. But yeah, we're doing really, really well. Really, really happy with that league performance so far. Now, in terms of the Champions League, we've only played the 2 games so far. It's not looking great. We've drawn 1, lost 1. The loss was against Man City, as you saw. We then drew against RB Leipzig. That was a bit of a concerning one for a moment. I did consider changing tactics at one point. In fact, in that game, I think we did change tactics. We did. We changed to a 4-2-2-2, the one we tried in pre-season. It did seem to work, but I haven't panicked yet, and I've stayed with the 4-4-2 diamonds. We battered Almeria after that game. We just about beat Girona away from home, and then we've battered Cadiz as well, which is good to see. And we're keeping in and around the kind of capacity for the new stadium, which is around the 51,000 mark. We are keeping around that. Even if it drops down a little bit, it's still in the ballpark of it, which I really like to see. So yeah, I can't complain too much. Now, the only other thing I want to quickly just draw your attention to is transfers. In terms of any final transfers, there weren't really any. We did get Gomez out the door finally on a loan, which was good to see. And in terms of players in, ignore these two. They're young players just to fill out the under-18s because we desperately needed goalkeepers because we only had one in both that squad and our B team. But I also brought in this guy from Liverpool on a loan. Eduardo Perez, centre-back. He's tall, he's quick, he's half decent at tackling, half decent at marking, good positioning. I just thought, let's bring in an extra defender because it means Ashedi can then be that cover defender for all of the defensive positions, which means our final kind of transfers in and out for this season is perfectly balanced, as all things should be. Money, we're just going to pretend isn't a problem. Transfer that's only 11 million. That's mostly from this season. The net debt's a problem, but look at the finances. All of a sudden, and I'm putting this down to the new stadium, how much more healthy is that looking? How much more healthy are the transfer budgets looking? The projections are the healthiest they have looked in quite some time. Okay, turnover this season is going to be higher than it is going to be for the next few seasons, apparently. But that looks really, really healthy. And bearing in mind as well, in terms of the facilities, just draw your attention over to here, top corporate facilities. Better than the basic ones that we had before. I'm going to have to bleep that out, I've just realised, but oh well, is what it is. But I'm really happy we now moved into the stadium. Everything is great. I don't know what's happened to the Riazza now, actually. Is it still there? Is it still around? It is. It's now just a stadium without a team. But I don't know, I don't think we own it. I think it was owned by like the council or something like that, so not a problem anymore. Anyway, the main event of today is the game against Mallorca, and we're going to get to see the team in action with the newer, kind of slightly newer look team to what we've had previously. So, this is going to be the 11 for that game. It is Restes in goal, Martinez, Ribel, Silva and Ilic in defence, Herculano, Levine, Litzkas and Baskakov in midfield with Veloso and Salvador up front. I still laugh at the fact that we've got Veloso up front with Salvador. It's nuts to me, and it's nuts that it's working as well. It's been working before the stars have gone in. He's now a 4-star striker. Like, we've fully converted him. Like, he is fully converted. He can just play the spine of a team. Needs to have a word with him about his development, but he can just play up the spine of a team, which is ridiculous. He can almost be a defender. I'm not training him as a defender. Levine has just started to get good in midfield as well. It's taken him a while to actually start to get there with gold stars. He was silver star up until the last game. Yeah, I mean, he's performed well there, don't get me wrong, but I was starting to think maybe we were fighting a losing battle, but he's finally converted, which is good. The only injury we've currently got is Boedo, but we have had a couple of injury issues, including Elia Wahi, who's yet to score this season. He will probably come on in the second half just to give Salvador a bit of a break. Right, how's about we get to the game and let's see whether we can get another 3 points and continue our march to what will hopefully be league title in a row, numero 4. I think, is it 4? We've won 3, haven't we? We've won a hat-trick of them. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I made a big deal about that. I certainly did after the end of last season. Jesus Christ. Right. Match day. Let's see. I mean, I will admit, it's not the most impressive stadium to look at in the match engine. I was hoping for it to be a bit grander because it's just 4 stands and some gaps where there's some palm trees and an office block, which is fine, but it's a new stand. And this bit looks a bit unfinished. I've got to be honest with you. That looks a little bit unfinished. Was I hoping for a bit more? Maybe. But you know what? It's got a higher capacity. I'll take it. I will take it all day long. And off we go with our game against Mallorca in the league. And let's see whether we can get another 3 points, because that would be great. Herculano, by the way. I mean, he's been recommended in his training that he's going to be a good defensive midfielder. He really has been. He's really done a good job. And it's been practically seamless. Also, Veloso and Salvador just combined to score a goal. I can't tell you the joy that gives me that this partnership is starting to really blossom. Also, it was an all-Portuguese collection. Herculano, 2 Veloso, 2 Salvador, 2 goal. I'm also hoping Veloso, going into striker, maybe gives him another option into the national side. Because at the moment, he's not getting into the national team at all. He's getting left out consistently. And he is literally one of the 2 best strikers in Spanish football at the moment. He's second only to the best striker in the world in the league at the moment. And up until the last game, he was outscoring. He's just gone and got another one, by the way. But I think it's offside. Baskakov is happy because he's got an assist. He's thrown a bit of a wobbly Baskakov recently because I was playing him and Gula. I was leaning more towards Gula. You know I love Gula. But the problem is he was getting a bit iffy because he's meant to be an important player. Well, I gotta say, he has actually had a decent start to the season. So it's made it a little bit less cut and dry who starts. That nearly was more of an argument for Baskakov to start there. But he's not going to be because he got disallowed. Right, let's see whether we can actually get a second that counts this time. Right, Ribel now, who's evolving into a good little defender himself. He and Silva starting to form a decent partnership, actually. But Rengifo, who didn't leave in the summer transfer window as we were afraid he might do. Johnny Salvador's gone and got another one, by the way, that isn't going to get disallowed this time. Rengifo didn't leave. No one went up to 25 million, which was a bit of a surprise, but not an unwelcome one. I should also mention, we did get an offer in. I'm pretty sure it was after the end of the last video for Litzkas, but it was pathetic. It was a pathetic offer. And I wrote, was it pathetic? It was pathetic in terms of how much it was up front. And to get another playmaker in for the same money would have just been difficult. So I ended up saying no to it. I think it was Liverpool. Liverpool just trying to raid all my players. It might not have been Liverpool. I might be making that bit up. But whoever it was, I wasn't having. No, it was Real Madrid. I remember now. Real Madrid put the offer in. And A, I didn't want to strengthen them. And B, it was an offer where I couldn't counter offer. So because I couldn't counter offer, I was like, well, I'm not even going to entertain it. Because the overall amount would have been okay. But the upfront amount was like under 40 million. To get a midfielder to properly replace him, even though we've got Sandoval, it wouldn't have been feasible. And I'd already spent more money than I wanted to, really, with the signing of Silva. So, Restes, when we spent a bit more money than we actually had. So I just thought, you know what, let's just hang on to him. It's one more season. We don't need to find a replacement for him, scrambling in the last minute. Joe Veloso's got a goal as well. See, he's just made... I said, when I looked at his attributes, he could be a good striker. He's got the attributes in this save to do it. Now, I've used Joe Veloso, obviously, in this save up until this point, but I used him last year in FM23 when I did my career save. And at Southampton, he was a sensational midfielder. I'd never thought at that point he could be a good striker, but just looking at his ability this season in this save, it just looked like, do you know what, he'll be a good striker, and I'm really happy that it's worked out. It's something I've done in previous FMs before I started making videos where I've just seen a player and just thought, you know what, he could be a bit special in another position, and he's just gone and scored the second. And Baskakov has got his assist, and it is 4-0. I've just seen the time. It's not even 14 minutes into the game. And it's 4-0. And both of our strikers have got 2 goals. It's a race to the hat-trick. Who's going to get the match ball? They're going to have to get 2. Hope we got multi-ball. What What a start it's been. Veloso's got 2 assists as well. Ilic has got an assist too. And we've got a free kick now. Really, this should be Johnny Salvador, but I think it's going to be Levine because he's our next best free kick taker after Gula. Shout out to Levine as well. On a 7 rating, he's having a good game too. Kind of a silently good game. I thought we buried it then as well. Can you just imagine? He and Basakov running the midfield. Herculano's not having to do too much at the moment. Rebel, when he's getting involved, he's doing a decent job as well. Arno Martinez has just started to pick up as well. We know of Ilic's brilliance today. This is going to be a real marker because if you look at our goal difference, it's shooting up. I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? Because we move Herculano out of the defence, despite the fact that he's our best defender. We bring in someone who isn't as good as him, but maybe is a more seasoned, complete defender just in general. And then we bring in a goalkeeper who isn't quite as good as our old one, but isn't far off and is a bit younger. And we just seem to be walking it at the moment. I mean, it's not to say we will for the rest of the season, but we've let a couple of players... Well, we've let one player go. We've changed the position of another one. We've brought a couple of players in. And they just seem to have plugged in. Obviously, Levine was brought in last season, but he's seeming to work as well. And at the moment, it's a fight for a hat-trick. Johnny Salvador can't quite get the ball in the back of the net there, and it is going to be a corner. Levine is going to take it. I don't think he's that good a corner taker, but he's obviously not too bad. Flicked on, Rebel is there, can't get a 5th. It's a race to get a 5th in general at the moment, and we're struggling to get the ball in the back of the net for that final goal. I say final goal, hopefully it's not. I'd like another one. I'd like another 2. Or 3. Right. Goal kick, Restes. Better at his feet, by the way, which I don't think I've adjusted in the tactics yet. Let me just have a quick check. No, I haven't. He's still on roll it out. I don't think he's too bad with his hands, but I think I will change that. He's a better passer with the ball, so I think I will keep him with his feet with distributing, because I think it's just going to be a little bit better off. But then he does like to use long throws to start counter-attacks, so maybe that isn't the right thing to do. Baskakov and Veloso are just working things out here, and that would have been perfect. Oh, I'm gutted that didn't go in. That would have been sensational. Veloso's got, by the way, 4 goal contributions in this game. Like, why didn't I do this sooner? Why did I not do this sooner? I mean, what do I say to them? I've upset Joe Veloso. His work is done. I don't really mind about that. What do I say to them? Carry on, lads. Just keep going. Right, corner. Levine's take. Rebel's on it, and Rebel does get it, and Levine gets an assist as well. But Jean-Pascal Rebel, who's become the number 1 defender at the club after Veloso's moving... Not Veloso. Herculano's moving to midfield. See, we've got 3 positional changes in this squad, and it's made us better than ever. We've got Herculano moving to defensive midfield. Admittedly, he could already do that, but we never committed to him doing it. It's just a position he was already sort of natural in. We've got Levine, who's just got comfortable in centre mid. And then we've got Veloso, who has never considered being a striker before. No one would ever consider playing him as a striker. And we've turned him into, as it stands, for the first quarter of the season, one of the most lethal marksmen in all of Europe. And also a prolific creator of goals and chances as well. I cannot tell you that was on the cards this season. Right. Answers on the postcard. Who takes this penalty? We've got 2 players on hat-tricks. Do we rock, paper, scissors for it? I'm imagining it's going to be Salvador, because he's actually on penalties. It is. It's Johnny Salvador. He's pulled rank. He's the vice-captain, and he's made it 6. And he's got his hat-trick, which is good, because it means I can take him off. It means I can take him off and bring Eliawahi on for a good chunk of the game. Because we don't need him on the pitch anymore. But Johnny Salvador makes it 6. He's had a ridiculous game of football. We're having a ridiculous game of football, to be fair. I think I am also going to take off Ilic for Asnu. Stick with those 2 for now. What a ridiculous game of football this has been, but in the best possible way. Right, Silva now with the free kick. Gets it to Levine. Levine really starting to make that position his own. Starting to look a bit more consistent than... I've forgotten his name. I've forgotten the player who normally plays there. How have I done that? I'm going to have to... Forgive me. Maria. I've forgotten Maria's name. He's already been replaced. Levine's already replaced him. Right, Litzcast now. Is he going to go for a while? No, gets to Eliawahi. I think that might be offside. It goes out wide anyway. No, it wasn't offside. It would have been a goal kick. It's a bit disappointing that Wahi couldn't really do anything with it then, but It is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah, Levine's kind of replaced Maria a little bit. Maria, when he plays well, he's good, but I mean, he just needs to have better games more often. Veloso getting a little bit complacent there, lets the ball go, but we're covered. Martinez now to rebel, and we go again. And we go again. I mean, like, Levine's already trying to attack. Veloso into Wahi. Oh my God, Wahi. Tell you what, Wahi, he's so wasteful when he can't be bothered, and it feels like he can't be bothered at the moment. Right, changes. I am going to take off, I don't know, maybe Baskakov. Baskakov's had a silently good game, so we'll bring on Ardagula for a little bit. And then I'm thinking Perez. We'll give Perez, I'm giving Perez a lot of minutes, to be fair. Let's bring him on. We'll give Ribella a bit of a break, and then I'll leave my final trick for the last few minutes. And then we'll bring Nan on, or whoever that is on when we want to. We are starting to slip a little bit, but you would expect that, to be honest, so I'm not too worried about it. I'd quite like Veloso to get his hat-trick, though. Earlier while he's had a shocker since coming on. Like, really disappointing performance from him. We'll take Herculano off for Rodriguez and give Rodriguez a few minutes. That feels like the right thing to do. He's had a decent season as well when we've utilised him. Herculano did have a bit of an injury for a little while, so Rodriguez did step in, did a decent job. We have committed to training and playing him as a half-back. He's just going to have to get used to it. He's done all right for us when we've needed him to. And that, honestly, was superb. That was superb. Disappointed still Veloso didn't get a hat-trick, but considering he got 4 goal contributions in total, I think I'll let him off. That was pretty sensational. Really glad we had that game on camera because, yeah, I just really am indeed. A goal difference of 28. It's more than 10 than any other team. Admittedly, no other team has played 10 games yet. So, take it with a pinch of salt, but no one's going to be near us unless they score like 10 goals. So, good luck to them. If the game wants to load, that'd be even better. I mean, we are 9 seasons in. The game is probably going to start struggling a little bit. Really good. Chelsea apparently want Joe Herculano. Sure, try it. See what happens. Litzkas is wanted by Spurs. Sure, try it. See what happens. Right, let's come back. Now we've had the Champions League fixtures, we can kind of look and plan a little bit more. I think it was around the Athletic Bilbao, Barcelona, Granada games. I think that's when we get to kind of the 19th game of the season. So, we know that was number 10. So 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 is Granada. So, we should come back for that one. So I'm going to come back for Barcelona instead. Because it's Barcelona. Why would we not come back for Barcelona? Like, at the moment, they're the team that are closest to us. If they win their next game, it'll be by 3 points? Yeah, it'll be by 3 points. So, let's come back for that. That feels like the smartest thing to do. We'll see how they're doing. We'll see how we're doing. We'll keep track on everything. I'll do what I've done in this video as well. We'll take kind of snippets of some of the more important games between now and then. Maybe we'll show you some highlights from Valencia. Athletic Bilbao in the Champions League is a bit of a weird one. Liverpool we'll probably look at. We'll obviously look at Real Madrid. And Bayer Leverkusen we probably should look at because, you know, we beat them in the Champions League final a couple of seasons ago. So we'll have a look at some of those before we play that Barcelona game. And fingers crossed we do quite well. Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed today's video, don't forget to leave a big like on there for me. And don't forget to subscribe as well. It's completely free to do so. And you'll make me a very happy chap. I've been Stu. You guys have been awesome. And I'll see you next time. Cheers.